Beginning the practice by bringing the focus of our attention into the feeling state of the body and being willing to meet whatever we encounter with attention, with curiosity, not to judge it, not to try to fix it or make a note to fix it or wonder where it came from or try to interpret it. Simply letting it be and noticing how the inhalation impacts the feeling state of the body and how the exhalation impacts the feeling state of the body. We can't think and feel at the same time. So bring our attention to feeling. You can move very quickly between them. But we're going to try for these moments, for this practice, to turn the focus of our attention to our feeling state as our primary activity. Our thinking state gets a lot of our day, and that's fine. But it sure is nice when our feeling state has its moment. We can access so much information from our feeling state. And every breath we take is new. It's a different configuration than any other breath we've ever taken. And it's impacting the body. And every exhalation is feeding other systems in the world. We are a part of life. And if we can bring relaxation into our exhalations, actually into our inhalations as well, but a great starting place is our exhalations. We can release, just like we release breath that feeds trees, we can release tension that has its impact towards more life in the world. And when we release our tension, we make space for something new. I like to breathe in 360 degrees in the hip area and expand in that space on the inhalation, and then to relax into that space on the exhalation. But there is a natural rising that also happens on the inhalation. So along with that expansion in the hip area, there's a rising of the structure of the body. And then the relaxation gives the body something to hang itself on so that the relaxation doesn't make a slump, but it truly lets the cells surrender to the gravity that's calling them for these moments. And just noticing the feeling state of the body and noticing where you're noticing. Who is noticing? What is noticing? Where is that center of identity that's doing the noticing? For most people, for me at least, it is behind the eyes, because we spend so much of our day seeing and so much of our sense of ourselves by what we have seen. So as we relax on our exhalations, trying to drop that center of sense of self from behind the eyes down to the heart. And just letting it happen slowly with the exhalation, letting the pull of gravity call to the cells. And there's the inhalation, the inspired moment, and the exhalation, and the rest, and the dropping and the releasing into gravity. It can happen quickly, it can happen slowly, it can not happen at all. But what's nice about if you can bring that sense of self into the heart doesn't think. So when your identity isn't in the mind, it doesn't identify with all the thoughts as much. So the thoughts can keep going, but a sense of identity is kind of calm and in the heart, and kind of noticing what the heart is experiencing. And what's lovely about this is we create space in our body. There's a story of a man that traveled extensively to go to see a master. And he finally gets to the ashram and he gets to sit with the master, and he begins telling him about himself and why he's come and about his journey, what he's gone through to get there. And the master begins pouring him a cup of tea, and the cup fills and the cup begins to overflow as this man is continuing his story. And finally he says, "I think my cup is full. Thank you." And the master said, "Yeah, your cup is full. So if I try to give you the teachings, they're just going to fall off of you. You don't have any space. If you want to receive these teachings from me, you have to empty your cup." And so I love dropping my sense of identity deeper into the body, because it makes space for the new, for the divine to come in. And I love even more dropping it down past the heart into the pelvic bowl, because just like the hip area has everything needed to digest our food and extract the nutrients and eliminate what's unnecessary, that pelvic bowl has the ability to process our emotions and our experiences. So when we relax and release our tensions into the pelvic bowl, it can process them, and those tensions don't need to come back up into our body when we're done with the practice. There'll be a little less at the very least. But if we can bring our sense of self all the way into the pelvic bowl, there's some really wonderful work and authors and teachers in this space, but all of that space becomes open in us. And then we can invite the divine to fill that space. We can invite the new to come into our being so that we can be channels of the new in the world. Very often, I consider the new, all of the things that currently exist in my life, just in more pleasing patterns, or just in little different intensities. But the new isn't the old in new clothes. The new is truly fresh and unexpected. Sometimes it's expected, but it's always a new configuration. Thomas Hubel talks about Divine FM and having a practice each day where we lift our antenna to receive the pure frequency of life in its creative, loving emanation. So if we can raise our antenna to receive the new, to receive life and love and creativity and inspiration, then we have all of this space in our bodies that we've created to let that fill. And we can't help but be in broadcast of the new as well, as we expand to make space that we can relax and drop into that space, and the new fills it. And then we expand, and the new moves forward, and we relax into it, and love fills it, and we expand, and it moves in these concentric circles through all of our programming and conditioning, pushing forward, bringing the new, the fresh, the nutrients of this breath to fill this being, the nutrients of this being to fill this community. And we can do this practice with a single breath every time we drop our sense of self down deeper into the body. We open up our availability to the new. Our cup is willing to receive this moment, not just impacting us or falling off of us, but coming into us and then through us meeting the world. A single breath is a wonderful practice. And a single breath, as the extension of a few-minute practice every day, can have dramatic impact on our ability to feel the freshness of life and all it has to offer. May you take many such breaths.